Hello, everybody, and welcome to Grand Slam KBO Weekly Walk-off, our new midweek interview show where we talk to some of the players, reporters, and fans with special stories to tell about Korean baseball. My name is Andrew Farrell, and this week Bradley Hyder replaces Brad Dinos as we sit down in a Western Seoul bar with long-suffering but extremely passionate LG Twins fan Jung Sangchul. My KBO friends will recognize Sangchul's name. He's usually the guy translating Korean news articles or posting some great photographs of a different era in Korean baseball. You can follow everybody on this show at Grand Slam KBO, at Grand Slam Hyder, at Chimek Baseball for Matthew Kerr, and at probably_Brad for Brad Dinos. We're also found wherever you get your podcasts, and we're on YouTube. Email the show, grandslamkbo@gmail.com. So this is the interview we did with Jung Sangchul, and we began by asking him to take us all the way back to where baseball started for him.
Yeah, I kind of start from, I'm born in 1983, and I started watching baseball from 1990s, and what I remember exactly from is like 1994, so I started with the LG's glory, and I'm still not forgetting it.
And you haven't tasted success since then?
Well, we haven't won. So, for individual games, yeah, but for this season, for the Korean series, no. It was sad. My childhood goes with the no winning, and my adulthood is going same, but hey, this year, maybe.
Maybe. Not while Dusan are still involved. Earlier on today, you called yourself a 94 kid, is that right?
Yeah.
That was your little saying? Okay. So that's who you are. This is the guy we have on. He's going to talk about LG Twins in the 1990s, 2000s, 2010s, and today, the multiple heartbreaks.
Oh, yeah.
What do you want to start with first, Brad?
Well, I'm here because I like Korean baseball and I like history, and if I can combine those two things and learn something, I'm happy.
With a beer.
With beer,
yeah.
Or a couple. What I'd like to know is, there's been a lot of conversation and comparison between the MLB and the KBO. What I'd like to compare is the KBO 2020 or 2019, the last season fans were there, to KBO, I guess in your case, 1994. What's improved as a fan experience, and what sort of deteriorated, and what sort of things would you like to see go back to the way they used to be?
When I think about the biggest difference is the after-game culture.
Okay.
Because when I was a kid, when you go get out of the game, there's a 포장마차s, which are the small venues for selling sojus and various food there. So like 20, 30 of them. Even these days, like more than 50, I think. It's everywhere. Definitely they're not paying tax. And people going here, there, usually the guys with necktie, with like half drunken, and they are mad for the game or happy for the game. Usually this team goes for this side, that team goes that side. After game, I love that so much. And yeah, I was an elementary school kid, so I couldn't go there, but that vibe, I just loved it. Nowadays, they are all professional shops. You can pay with your credit card or even your transport card. Those are nice. You have the the fried chicken is already packed.
Yeah.
It's like you are just paid like 10,000 won. It's like 10,000 won. Then you get a box of it and a fry and chicken and the lukewarm Coke. And I don't like that. When I went there, I know it is unorganized. Some of them were not exactly sanitized. So I go to individual shops and get some snacks and buy this Sprite or whatever I like. And nowadays it is all packed. I don't like much. And the one thing I like is that is what deteriorating. What I like is people don't fight much.
You're talking about the fans?
Yeah, it's like when some guy gets drunk and the usually curses everything. Now at that time, they didn't see much kid back there. So when I like 1995 or 6, when I went to the baseball game, that usually grown ups with ties. It is Seoul, so some other places we have this the factory workers go there. In Seoul, there's the guys with ties. They see the kid with the twins hat there. They usually buy me all the things I could eat. It's like, you had ice cream, and you want to eat the drink. Hey, look at this kid with the hat. I love that.
So they would buy you. They didn't know you, but they liked your hat.
Yeah.
And they would buy you something.
Yeah, but so whenever I cheer something, hey, your hands are empty.
Right.
You gotta eat more. So nowadays, but that's where I learned most of the courses in Korea. Yeah, there were various ways. I knew there were so many ways of cursing in Korea, but I did not know you could use that in that many ways, including using the body parts and close members of families and many things. And nowadays, kids go there. It is family venue now. It's like a family pack. You go there, you have twins hat, your wife have twins hat, your baby have your entire uniform top to bottom, and your keychain have the twins logo on it. Yeah, it is something, you cannot do it. You cannot use efforts everywhere, surrounded by efforts.
Yeah.
But people are nice, and the people are more into the game, and yeah, those are differences.
Mm-hmm.
And also there are people who used to climb the fence, the inner fence to block the baseball, like it's foul balls, to block the foul balls, not to smack the head of someone.
Right.
Yeah, those things. Occasionally there were people, usually drunk, red drunk, and they just climbing up everywhere. It's like, team sucks. Yeah, those things happened, but not anymore. Usually that was famous in Incheon because seriously, Incheon team sucked. They had Sami. Yeah. They were bad as Hanwha Eagles.
Right.
Yeah, the 18 losing streak.
So I guess you could say you miss some of the characters of these games and the atmosphere and the culture.
Yeah, but I miss it, but I don't miss too much because I know that it's dangerous. Right. And that is not really good for people. It's like being a family sport is nice.
Yeah.
If I'm married, then I can bring my wife, I can bring my kids all together into some expensive table seat, and I do not have to worry about my kids learn some curse word. So where did you learn that? From baseball field. Oh no, I'm not taking you anymore. No, that ain't gonna happen.
I see. And what would you say some of the, maybe you've partially answered this. What are some of the improvements? Obviously, it's a more family-friendly environment, but apart from that, what are some of the improvements you've seen in the KBO?
Oh yeah, definitely. Merchandise.
Yeah, okay.
Merchandise, definitely. I said I got the baseball hat. I got that because I joined the LG Twins Children's member. Other than that, there's almost no way you can get the children's hat.
Okay.
Absolutely no way. If adult have some kind of uniform, it means he knows someone in LG Twins. So maybe he knows the friend of friend is playing for the Futures League in LG Twins or being a coach or front. There's no way you could get really good merchandise.
I see.
Now you see people are complaining, especially in United States or some foreign guys are complaining, where I can get the merch, where can I get the merch? That was happening in Sangchul Stadium, where can I get the merch? It was kind of hard. The number of the merch really small, and they start to sell. And also what more improvement is the just overall condition of the field.
Yeah, the playing field.
Yeah, playing field.
Yeah.
Sangchul Stadium had, when you go to, or any baseball stadium, when you go to outfield, and the outfielder goes back and back and back, try to catch the home run ball, and they bump into some kind of bumper, right? Rubber bump or
yeah.
And that was rock hard. Actually, I remember like one or two guys actually had to retire due to that. He recovered after broken like a shoulder or something. He caught the ball, but he cannot get up. It was horrible.
Yeah.
And the overall condition is like grass.
Right.
If you ever seen the 1984 game, the grass was nowhere. It feels like they're playing when the Thai Cup was playing in America. That the field condition was horrible.
There's a YouTube video that actually shows, I believe, the 1984 Atlanta Braves playing a team in Seoul at Sangchul Stadium.
Yeah.
And you see just horrible looking grass.
Yeah, and not only grass, the ball wasn't good, and the uniforms. At the time, uniform was just nothing better than so you can get from some sports shop. It was bad, except LG Twins. LG Twins had the special. Because the special matchup, because their CEO loved the team, even the training jerseys were special ones. And it was after 90s, but it was so bad for the players. Injury was rampant.
Yeah. Can I just ask you as well, because now if you go to Jamshil or Moonhak or everywhere else to watch baseball in Korea, there are cheerleaders, there are thundersticks, there are the male cheer masters. Everybody is singing songs. They're all pop songs that have been adopted and then adapted into like a baseball chant. Were people singing at all back in 1994, 1995, or what were they singing?
The individual singing was I don't remember exactly what it was individual singing, but when they're singing, they all sang. It's like 사랑한다 LG, 사랑한다 LG, or the LG Twin songs. I remember I can just sing like 30 minutes straight. Yeah, those things people just keep singing,
But was it coordinated? Because now the male cheerleader starts and the cheerleaders.
Yes, they also speakers, so and people sang all together. But the individual songs, some had, some didn't.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds really interesting because I guess it must have been like the lack of coordination for, when do you start singing and when do you stop. But now it's obviously really easy. We'll let Sangchul have a little bit of a break there. Are you enjoying we're having some snacks here as well, so you've done a lot of talking at the break.
Yeah.
What's your favorite, Brad? What's your favorite moment of a Korean baseball game? What stands out for you compared to Canada and the US? What makes the KBO more special?
Well, we talked about it being a family affair, or the option of being a family affair. A lot of MLB or back home or other professional sports, that's a family affair if you're a wealthy family. And what I like about the KBO is how a family can bring in their snacks and their drinks and what have you, and you can bring that right past the gate. That's totally allowed. And so for families, I think it's great. It keeps it affordable for people to experience. As far as me, I don't have a family, and budget isn't so much a concern. But for me, what I like the most is just the atmosphere. I don't get into the singing so much, but it's quite something to see so many people organized and cheering. And I found living in Korea, I've met a lot of expats, maybe from the UK or Ireland or even from the United States, that weren't really big baseball fans, but the way it's marketed and the way it's presented here, I think it's really easy for people to get into. So I admire that in the product.
Yeah. I used to live in Colorado.
Colorado?
Yeah, in the United States for like 7 years. So I know some of the baseball culture because I went to Coors Field all the time.
Yeah.
And when I saw the price of the Coors Field is cheap stadium. I mean, it's not expensive at all compared to the other field like the Yankee Stadium.
Wrigley.
Yeah, but the rock pile is like just few bucks, but still, like Channel Park came to the Rockies when he was in Phillies. Okay, and I went behind the catcher, and it was expensive. Oh man, it is not that expensive for major league standard, but for me,
Yeah, sure.
and it's not just a ticket. You have to drive there. You have to buy some drink, and you have to buy some hot dog. Hey, you gotta buy hot dog when you go to baseball field in the United States.
Parking.
Yeah, parking maybe. Oh man, that was so expensive, and people are just watching game, just standing there. It's like when I went the first time, it was in LA, the LA Dodgers came. That was my first time. The people were packed, but that packed stadium is not louder than half-filled Jung Sangchul Stadium. Oh, what are you guys doing? I hear the murmurs. Murmur. Yeah. It sucks. It's like, where's the chant? All I can hear is the murmurs. It's like, I was so confused. Why you guys do not cheer? Certainly they cheer when they clap.
Right.
But it felt so much weird for me. So okay, they catch better. They can throw faster. But I'm not really watching the baseball.
Yeah.
Where's the cheer? Where's the songs?
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, I think you could, to use one word, I would say North American sports fan. I shouldn't generalize North American sports, but MLB fans, it's very reactionary. So people will chant and clap and cheer when a good play is made. Where in Korea, it's just constantly going.
Constantly going and goes louder.
Yeah.
Yeah. I brought my wife to a rugby game before, and she obviously spent her life in Korea. She'd been to Jamshul and Moonhak and all Sajik, watched baseball together. We went to an Ireland Rugby World Cup game, and before the game, the atmosphere was really good. People are drinking outside in the stands, and as soon as the ball was kicked off to start the game, everybody just sat down.
What?
And she was just like, "Why isn't anybody doing anything? You know, why are they?" And it was like the odd chant, where people get excited, but that was it. There was nothing else, and yeah, she'll tell you that watching baseball here that's why people like her will go to a game for that. But exactly what you were saying, you know, they like to play, they understand the rules, but it needs the stands, it needs the fans engaged, heavily involved. I just want to ask you one more thing as well there, because another change is probably, you look at a guy like Eric Thames, and Brad here is a major fan of Eric Thames. He has an Eric Thames NC Dinos uniform back home, so there are now more foreign players here than there were when you first started watching baseball. Has the quality of foreign player improved dramatically? And can you remember who the first foreign player you saw live was in the KBO?
Actually, I do not remember exactly who was, but the first guys were, I'll say, actually the first time it was the tryouts. So it's not the individual. So I believe they weren't that bad. Because the standard of the KBO was lowered back then, but I believe they were okay. Some of them were exceptional, but it was definitely they deserve more money than every KBO player. But I believe those guys were like in major league standard, like AA, high AA guys. It was nowadays it's like quad A guys. So it is the difference. Definitely, foreign players are better. But sometimes there's some really old almost retired guy come to Korea and destroy the Korean league, like Jorge Franco, who was an amazing guy, or almost retired like they were occasional guy who's about to retire, like Petagini in the Twins for like a year or two. Yeah, those were great. But mostly they are decent contributor back then, but now it revolves around those foreign guys. So I can say it is definitely they are improved. They're better guys, but it means when you get the wrong guy, you're bust.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is it a big thing for a Korean baseball fan? At the start of every year, normally the foreign players, not always of course, but generally the foreign players come for one season and then they go.
Yeah.
Now we see more often, like Kelly for example with LG Twins, so more often, more than before, players are staying for the second or the third year. Dustin Nippert is a really good example. But at the start of the season or the end of the previous season is who we pick up from predominantly the US, well definitely from Major League Baseball, but from the US or the Caribbean. Is that a big thing? Are people really excited to find out which foreign player we're going to get this year, or is it just like an afterthought?
But that's actually quite huge. Because it is bigger than draft picks. Okay?
Okay.
These guys will play next year exactly in the KBO as their first rotational pitcher, second rotational pitcher, and fourth hitting or as cleanup pitcher, cleanup hitter. That's what they're expecting. It's like a trade deal, but not just a trade deal. It's not something like a third option outfielder exchange to the backup catcher. It's not something like it. We're gonna replace the third base where we are weak. That kind of thing. So that's so huge. And they usually talk about this guy did not sign to this team. I think the Atlanta just dropped the contract with this guy. I think this guy will go somewhere, maybe KBO, maybe MPB, the Japan league in Japan. And they usually end up to watching the My KBO. Right. I'm not kidding. Nowadays, everybody go there. And yeah, that's quite huge. It's like whether here, it's like some guy who watched Major League Baseball too. That guy's come to Korea. Wow, I heard that he's a really huge prospect in the team. Probably it's like some team paid big money to the other team to buy his rights.
Right.
Yeah, that's quite huge actually.
Okay, so you're saying the news of the foreign player is significant in Korea. It's something that people pay attention to.
Yeah, because it can change the team.
Yeah.
I'd just like to point out the Kia Tigers signed Philip Humber a couple of years ago, who pitched a perfect game in Major League Baseball and then was released 3 months into his Tigers contract.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember Philip Humber? He pitched a perfect game with the White Sox and then he came to Korea. We expected great things and by June he was gone, or July he was gone.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it doesn't always work out. Now with Donis Russell, we saw today the former Cubs guy. The former Cubs guy looks like he's on his way to the Kiam Heroes. So it is exciting when players like that. For people like me who doesn't follow MLB, I know who Russell is, so I get excited when a guy like that turns up. LG Twins. Yeah, go on. Yeah. LG Twins. I want to ask you about this because I had this discussion with a Korean guy on my KBO before about LG Twins, and I know it's an old club, it's an historical club, and they have a lot of tradition. Is it true that the LG Twins were the first sporting team in the world to use thunder stakes?
I'm not 100% sure about it, but maybe not. But if things happened in Korea, the probably Seoul team should be the first one.
Because that information's out there. Next question, shiny jackets. Your thoughts?
I have one.
You have a shiny jacket?
Yeah.
Just one?
Just one.
Just one, okay.
Because the last one I got worn out. You know what? Shiny jacket is good. It is warm. And whenever you cook some meat, the smell won't go back to your shirt. Because it will stay there. So you can gently wash out your wipe, then it will just go away.
For many of the listeners listening to this podcast, fans of the KBO are going to know exactly what we're talking about. For those of you who don't know what we're talking about, you owe it to yourself to run a Google search for LG Twins shiny jackets. It's probably one of the most iconic pieces of sports memorabilia anywhere in the world.
And fabulous.
And fabulous.
And fabulous.
I don't like it because I'm not an LG fan, but if I were an LG fan, I would have a jacket.
Exactly.
You'd have to have a jacket. And then the pinstripes. So LG have a lot of tradition that maybe, let's be honest, a lot of the other baseball clubs might be as old as LG, but they just don't seem to have what LG have. Is that accurate? Do you think I'm being fair on the Bears, the Tigers, the Lions? Are LG just a little bit above the other teams in terms of things like tradition?
If LG did not change the logo to the new font,
Okay.
I'll say yes, but not anymore. I
Alright.
hate the new font. Old font was a million times better, especially old 94 uniform it's always good. Because that is simple, black, white, or white stripe. I love that. I know it is Yankees ripoff, but who cares?
cares, yeah.
Those uniforms, no matter you hate or like Yankees, but yet their uniform is good. So I say old one is better.
Here's a question. The Minnesota Twins baseball team, believe their name comes from the Twin Cities, Minneapolis and St. Paul. Can you tell us why the LG Twins are called the LG Twins?
Oh yeah, because the LG, usually called the Gumsang, had a twin tower.
Twin Towers.
Yes, they have the tower. It looks symmetrical. Two towers there, so it's called twin towers. So, and then they saw that. Then probably they knew the Minnesota Twins, and
Yeah.
we have twin tower, and they have twins. And can we have some kind of memorable name? Yeah, we have twin tower. Let's go for twins.
I did not know that. I thought it was some bizarre connection with maybe where LG had played. They play in Gudo, is a Gudi where they
Yeah.
played a minor league team in Gyeonggi-do. I thought it might have been, look, we play some of our games in Gyeonggi-do, in the minor league, and some of our games in Seoul. It's got nothing to do with that. It's a couple of towers. That's really
Yep.
interesting. That's not
Their headquarters was there.
All right. Lead on to it then. Doosan Bears and LG Twins. Why? We talked about this. This is like the third interview in a row I've done, I guess. We did it in a podcast last week. I talked to Danny Kurtz of My KBO about this. And now to you. Why do LG fans really consider Dusan their biggest rival? But according to some poll that was released, it's hard to know how credible the poll is, but according to that poll, Dusan fans see LG as their third biggest rivalry.
Because LG here first. We are natives here. They came from South. I don't know what is their first intention to had promised with the KBO to come to Jamsil. We own LG Twins own the Jamsil, and they are renting the some bases. I think, well, that's what LG Twins fans say. I know it is close to gibberish, but the thing is, who owns the Jamsil? That is the big issue for Twins. For the Doosan Bears, it's like who wins. Because we do not win, we have to work with that. We have to work with the who owns the Jamsil because we cannot win for like decades. Yeah, that's why we consider Doosan Bears as the rival. And if you win, if you kill the rival, or if you win against rivals so many times, then you don't consider them as rival.
Yeah.
That is why Doosan Bears don't consider LG Twins as rival, I think. And that's why they consider SK Wyverns, who snagged their neck just before the winning of the Korean series so many times. That's probably why they consider the SK Wyverns as rival, as the Doosan Bears fan. And LG Twins.
But number 3 behind Heroes, that was surprising. To have Heroes number 2.
Yeah, because we own Seoul. What are you guys? New guys? Are you gonna here to threaten us? Hey, please don't hit us, please. And go away. Yeah, there's the... probably that's why we were called as the Mets of the KBO. It's like they usually win. We are the... when you see the... Actually, when you see the... how Seoul people favors the team, older people loves Twins, like 30s. And younger people love Bears. Well, no wonder. 90s, Twins ruled. Twins and Tigers ruled the KBO, and even like 2002 or something. After that, LG Twins is just occasionally good team, and Doosan Bears is occasionally bad team. So when kids grow up like that, and when I was kid, Twins was the cool kid, and Bears was some kind of nerd team, and it's flipped. So that's why the rivalry changed that much. And yeah, definitely it was the it used to be Bears hated Twins and Twins hated Bears. Not actually some fist fighting hate, but in rivalry.
Rivalry hatred, yeah.
Yeah, it changed a lot. And that is why Twins is keeps saying Bears is the biggest rival and we own the Seoul.
Okay. So when the Bears won the Korean Championship last season, when they beat the Kium Heroes in Gochak Dome to win their second title in 4 years. They've been in every Korean series since 2015, I think. The third title or second title in the last number of years, I can't remember. But as an LG fan, speaking for yourself and speaking for maybe be able to speak for a lot of other LG fans, how do they react to that moment? Do LG fans not really care that much? What is that rivalry like? Are LG fans furious to see Dusan win the championship, or do they just forget about it when LG season is over?
Usually it's something like, we have the Korean series? No, series is over. There's no such thing as a baseball right now. So the team's playing? No, that is just practice game. We don't play. It was something like, yeah, I watched the Korean series and I broke my watch.
You broke your watch watching Dusan win the Korean series.
Yeah. It was the snooze alarm one. It's like cheap $5 one. And so I threw it went to the wall and it broke in pieces. And my neighbor complained. He knocked my door. What are you doing? I said, I'm sorry. Yeah, I had to pick up the pieces of the clock and it's like, oh, come on, not again. But probably I hate it if the Kium won more.
Kium, really? Yeah?
Yeah.
Because they're new and they're not really from there.
And for me, for the rivalry, for me is okay. Doosan Bears, there's a long-time rival. I have some respect for them. And no, as the rival, but I still have respect for them. If their company goes bad, if Doosan Bears becomes something like a Kako Bears something, I'll be sad actually.
Okay.
But if Kium go bankrupt or something, yeah, whatever. So I don't have respect for them. They're new boys.
The new kids in town.
Yeah, you went to the Incheon and you went to Suwon and you went to Bokdong and you went to Gokcha. Yeah, what's next? Pyongyang? Good for you.
Yeah. What do we call them then? Pyongyang Heroes?
Yep.
The Pyongyang Heroes.
Or Pyongyang Juche Warriors, yeah, whatever.
I was going to say the Red Stars, but Juche Warriors sounds better.
What's the question you wanted to ask again? I thought it was a good one because we could all answer this question ourselves.
I think it was of the Korea series.
Yeah.
So let's say, for example, you know that the LG Twins are not going to make the postseason, and you can choose any team in the KBO to win the Korea series. Who do you choose and why?
Hanwha Eagles.
Oh.
Because it won't happen?
No, they suffered enough.
Okay.
He's compassionate.
Is bottom of the list then the Heroes? Are the bottom of the if the Eagles are first,
okay,
are the Heroes last?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
But if Dusan win, I'll be mad, but I'll respect their team because they won because they're good.
Sure.
Okay. What about you? You're an NC Dinos fan.
I'm an NC Dinos fan.
So,
I don't want to copy our guest here. I'd like to see the Hanwha Eagles win for different reasons. My wife's family, they're all Daejeon people, and I've got some in-laws that are big fans of the team. So I'd like to see them do well. Yeah, I'd like to see the Eagles take it off if the Dinos can't.
And bottom of the list.
Who do not want to see them win?
I don't know. Is there any team I really despise? Who's the most recent team to get involved in a cheating scandal? Because that was the Heroes, I think. There was some illegal under the table. Okay, I'm copying you. The Heroes, only because they're the most recent team. Certainly not the only one. The most recent team to be involved in a scandal
Of some sort, yeah.
of some sort, on a team level, not on a player level. But there we go. So. Come up with some better, more creative answers now. Your turn.
My turn. Okay. Tigers fan. If the Tigers don't win the championship, the team I'd least like to see win the championship is Dusan. Comfortably Dusan. I could do without Dusan winning the championship again. followed very closely by Lotte Giants. I find it's easier to pick the teams that I don't want to see winning more than the team I'd like to see winning. Hanoi Eagles, I can understand why you're going with that, because it's because they've suffered so much, as you were saying. But I do like the idea of a big baseball club winning the championship for the first time in a really long time, and that's where LG comes into it. That's also where Lotte Giants come into it. I don't really want to see Lotte Giants win it, so I don't know. I feel I don't know. It's a tough one. Maybe LG, as long as I wasn't involved in the series, like if the Tigers are gone before then. LG, maybe. To be honest with you, I don't really care if the Heroes win the championship, because I think the Heroes have a lot of really good players, and the Heroes can be fun to watch sometimes. And I probably would have said the Heroes until I'm afraid now what could go flying across the room here if I suggest the Keane Heroes. So I'm worried. But I probably, at the beginning of the season, I may have said the Heroes just because they have like a lot of really good young players. Young, good Korean baseball players.
Soon to be sold.
But it's a tough one. I mean, a question I want to ask you as well. I mean, I guess probably time is against us here, but if anybody's listening to this who was new to KBO or maybe wasn't sure who they should follow, why should somebody follow the LG Twins?
We are rich underdog.
Yes.
It's unique. We are rich, but underdog, and we do not sell the player much. So if you love the LG Twins player, they won't get sold much, and also you will join the glorious LG Twins fan crowd. So, and there's the one more thing is that just for this year, I should mention this. I know it's cheesy, but the Bagyong Tech who have the probably except home run, but he have the hit record and at base record, the games players record. He's like a Mickey Mantle kind of type, except home runs type of guy. So you have to see him, and it's on TV before retire. Check his record; he's amazing.
Can you say the name one more time?
Park Yong Taek.
Okay.
Number 33 with the glasses.
Yep, and
Is he definitely retiring?
yeah,
100%.
he's definitely 100%.
For fans in America and around the world who become LG Twins fans, do you know how difficult or how easy it is for them to get one of those shiny jackets online? Do you know if they can order from the shop or?
I'm not sure. I haven't ordered from the outside of the country, so I'm not sure.
Well, if you really want to get your hands on one of those shiny jackets, contact us. I'm sure one of us can get involved and help you
Sure
out.
thing.
Yeah.
Sure thing. Last question for me then. If LG Twins win the championship, and fans are or not allowed back in the stadium, whatever, what do you think the atmosphere would be like outside the Jam Show post game if the Twins end the 1994 and nearly a 30-year wait for a championship?
I think it will be like a
Be mellow, chilled out.
Not a mellow. It was the biggest cheer ever. 1945, August 15th, the liberation of Korea. Next to that, it will be the biggest cheer ever.
Okay.
Or I can just, if people don't scream enough, then I will.
If we're not back in the seats,
Okay.
and the LG Twins win the Korea series, where are you going to be to watch the game or to celebrate? What are your plans?
Since there will be night,
Yep.
so I'll be at the office working. But I'll wear the hats and uniforms probably.
Decked out.
Yeah.
Showing the swag. Okay.
But hey,
Well-
somebody gotta keep the internet safe. So that's my job.
We'll go to the office and pick you up and take you out.
We'll be there for you. I'll take your jacket.
Oh, all right.
I'll wear the shiny jacket. Great stuff.
Yep.
Jung Sangchul, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Anytime.
Yeah, had a great time, and we can do this again sometime. Talk about something other than the history of the LG Twins. You know, we can always have these conversations
sure
again. But yeah, that's it for us. Special episode here at Grand Slam KBO, meeting Jung Sangchul. It's always nice to talk to people who've been following the KBO for a really long time. So enjoy the rest of the season, and you never know. Might just happen. The Heroes might just win the championship.